I'm taking my daily walk here in Bali. I try to move my body. It's so easy to not move your body. It's so easy to put it off until another day. It's so easy to just have the habit of forgetting movement, even simple walks. So I definitely recognize that, like, it's not always easy to have a consistent routine of movement. But one of the things that really kind of gets me out of bed is just reflecting on the fact that, like, our society is sick. We are sick. Like, and I'm not meaning like sick mentally, although there's lots of science to kind of prove the degradation of our well-being so much, but also physically, just physically feeling sick. I think I just read, and I could be very wrong, that 70% of Americans are taking some form of medication for illness of some sort. 40% are taking 2 different types of medication. I'm not saying that medication is wrong, and of course, if our health is not well, if we are struggling with our health and we need intervention and it has to be medicine, then I'm definitely not opposed to that. Just the fact that so many of us, and the number is climbing, that our well-being is compromised in some shape, way, or form. And so for me, one of the things that I always just think about is, what can I do today? What can I do today for well-being? I try not to get super, have these very big goals for myself about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, because I do recognize that every day looks different, and our capacity every day is different. And for whatever reasons, we might just have went to sleep late. We might just have had a conversation that was difficult. Like, all these things happen in life, but what I recognize is just one day at a time, one step at a time. This is really what I tell myself. And there was a snake here that died, and I wanted to move him off the path. I think when we start to ask ourselves, what does it look like to be healthy? What does it look like to actually be well? What does it look like to not overthink, be stressed out, be so triggered by other people, be anxious, be so easily agitated? What does it look like, literally, like just one day at a time, to have a sense of well-being, ease in our mind, a peaceful mind, a calm mind, a happy state of being? And I think sometimes that can be very intimidating, because when we consider where we might be, like, all of us might be starting from very different points on this path. Some of us might be struggling with a mind that feels very depressed. Some of us might be struggling with just feelings of loneliness, anxiousness, all type of things. And so to imagine well-being, it's like the final goal, wanting the final goal to be completely free of all of those things today, right now. Like, if I can get rid of all of this yuckiness that I'm feeling, I want to do it now, today. And it's an incredible aspiration. And for some people, like, I know some people who just one day they're like, I'm done, I'm doing it, and it happens. And I think that's really possible. But what I notice is that, even for myself, really, I'm like just such a big advocate for one day at a time. Because I know, even for myself, after years and years of practice, years of yoga practice, meditation, years of karma yoga, upasana yoga, yana yoga, years of studying things, these modalities, Reiki, anything you really can, most things you can name. And also recognizing that it's so easy to go back, to revert back into habits, to revert back into these spaces where we can feel unhealthy, where our mind can feel unwell, where we can just go back into stress. It's such a strong habit pattern. And so for me, one day at a time means I'm changing the habit pattern every single day. I'm doing something. I'm planting a seed a day to overcome this habit pattern that is making me sick, literally making me sick. And that's just another thing. Like, we sometimes we can think it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking that stress or um, anxiousness, or those little feelings that we get every now and then of feeling agitated or angry, it's easy to think that these are just like kind of one-off things. They'll never happen again. Like, oh, okay. But we can see that progressively these things get worse and worse and worse over time. We feel sicker and sicker and sicker. And so it's not that, like, if you have a moment of stress, if you're at a job and you feel stressed every time you come home, this is an accumulation of sickness. This is an accumulation of dis-ease. This isn't and it is not just happening in your mind. It's not just happening in your feeling. It starts to also take its place in the body. And so as I was walking, I was listening to a podcast by Gabor Mate, who has done a lot of work in terms of healing, trauma, just incredible, just about society being sick. Recognizing that a lot of us are actually sick, and not because we want to be sick. Like, a lot of our habits and the things we say to people, the things we do, the things we eat, the lack of things that we do is an accumulation of us being sick. So I have been just trying to make it a point, because I know how my body feels when I don't take a walk. I know how my body feels when I don't do my morning practice. I know. And so it's just a day at a time. Like, even some days I sit down and I'm like, 1 minute. That's all I have today. I only have 1 minute capacity. And so I do it for 1 minute. And these 1 minutes, these 1 days at a time, these one step forward at a time, what this does, it's reconditioning, it's reprogramming, it's retraining, it's giving you can imagine, there's this really cool analogy. If you are walking in a forest, hey forest, if you are walking in a forest and there's a path that many people have already walked. So you can clearly see this path. You can clearly see, like, oh, this is the way to go. And then, like, there's no other pathway, or there's one, but it's like really unclear. It's like you can't really see it. You can't really follow it to get to the destination. And essentially what this analogy says is that this is how our brain is. It will always take the path that has been most walked, because it's easier, it feels safer, and it's comfort, it's habit already. So we will always take the path that's already walked again and again and again. But what happens is, a lot of the paths that we have walked are these paths of trauma, are these paths of survival mode, are these paths of just anxiousness and all these different, like, emotional dysregulation. So a lot of the path that we have constantly walked are all of these things already. And so this 1 day at a time, one practice at a time, is us trying every day to create a new imprints in this other path, and say, okay, it's okay to go this way. I haven't been this way before, or I haven't been this way many times, probably been every now and then. But the more I take steps on this path, then the more easy and safe that path also becomes. And this is how our brain actually works. And so for me, it's definitely every day just trying to plant that one seed at a time. And it's so, like, you start to feel it over time. Like, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what, like, just, it doesn't matter. You start to feel it, because nature is nature. Laws of nature are laws of nature, and nobody gets to escape that. And so I was on my walk and I was just thinking, do I really want to do this today? Now I'm in the parking lot of the trail. The trail is over there. It's one of my favorite trails here in Bali. And I was just walking and I was just thinking, wow, I'm doing it. She's walking, she's moving. And also sometimes we can forget. Again, it's easier to go down the path that we are most familiar with. But just trying every day. Like, okay, today I am going to choose, just setting a motivation every day, setting an intention when you wake up in the morning. Today I am going to choose wellness. Today I'm going to choose wellness. Today I'm going to choose wellness. And trying to keep that intention with you for as long as possible. And so when you start to make decisions throughout your day, like whether in the morning, should I eat this thing that's packed with sugar, or this thing that's just, I mean, it looks good in theory. It's like, or should I choose this thing that I know will leave an imprint for well-being in my body, will make me not sick? And so it's just these small little, just starting with the thought. And sometimes you might still choose the thing, the other thing. Like, it's so easy for me. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to choose to sit here. And but still constantly familiarizing yourself with the fact that there is another path that I can take. I can choose well-being. I don't have to choose sickness. And so, yeah, I'm about to get on my scooter now. My arm is hurting from holding up the phone. I'm about to get on my scooter. I'm actually going to, oof, I am now going to have my breakfast. And it's so funny because there's this place that I love that has really good pancakes and it's nearby. They have the best pancakes ever. They have like this caramel syrup. I mean, this caramel butter. It's this caramel butter and it's so good. You put it like it just melts. And it's interesting because it's also like a domino effect. After you do this, like for me, after I did this walk and knowing that I need movement and knowing that, I kind of checked off this thing that I know gives me life, this life sustaining activity, it makes it a little bit harder to go for the pancake. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have tofu scramble. I'm gonna get my protein and like really just, it kind of makes it easier for the other things in the day, for the other steps that you take. It it makes them just a little bit more easier to take. So I hope today that you find just the inspiration to choose well-being, the inspiration to know that your life is important, that every time you choose well-being, so many other people benefit. Let me put this in. Yeah, every time you choose well-being, you benefit so many other people because when we're not well, when we're sick, what is that saying? The sick can't help the sick. Like the sick can't help the sick. If we're not well, if we're on life support in a hospital, then it's very difficult to try to help somebody else, help the person next to us. So the sick can't help the sick. And so every time that I choose well-being, I can actually help someone else. And so it's also not to get attached to just like, I want to look good, I want to, this type of stuff. But it's also like I become a better member of society. I become a kinder member of society. I become a happier member of society. I become a more functioning member of society that can actually contribute. And this is such a big, because we have children, we have family, we have other people that we see suffering so much, we have other people that we see sick. And so the more that we can take care of our own well-being, our own health, then it's so much easier to be a member of society, an individual in society that can really be useful, that can be useful. So I'm sweating, I'm hot, I'm gonna go, but you got it. You got it. You can do it. We can do it. We got this together, one step at a time, one step forward.